Hello and welcome to our presentation on token economies. Your presenters will be Heather Hall, Monda Rusty, Janelle Wingo, Bridget Hardigan, and Jonathan May.
A token economy is a contingency management system that allows participants to earn tokens for presenting specific positive behaviors, which are later exchanged for predetermined backup reinforcement. A token economy system can be used for individual students or a group of students, possibly in a classroom setting or school-wide. This is a visual breakdown of the basic token economy cycle. The first step of the cycle is that the child or children have no tokens and no access to the desirable item or activity. The second step is that the child or children engage in the desirable behavior or the target behavior that's been chosen. The third step is that the child or the children are given a token for engaging in the target behavior. And the last and final step is that the child or the children trade in their tokens for access to the desirable item or activity. There are a few steps in establishing a token economy. The first step is to determine the target behavior, for example, walking in the hallway. The second step is to determine which type of token economy system level that you want to use. So is it for an individual, a classroom, so a group of children, or school-wide? The third step is to create the token economy system based on the number of required tokens to receive reinforcement. So for example, do the children need to earn 3 tokens to gain reinforcement, or do they need 10 tokens to receive the reinforcement? And that's just determined based on what your goal is. The fourth step is to select the tokens and then create whatever tokens that you want to use. The fifth step is to identify the reinforcers or what the children are working towards. This often depends on if it's for an individual or if it's for a group of students. The sixth step is to define how and when the tokens are exchanged. So that's oftentimes just a list of rules on what the children need to do in order to receive the token. The seventh step is to determine how the plan will be monitored, so who and how data will be collected. And the last and final step is to define rules to change or fade the plan.
Okay, there are 7 elements of a token system. The first one is you're going to want to figure out the target behaviors. You want to select the desirable target behaviors that you want to be strengthened. Then you need to figure out what type of tokens you want. The tokens can be used as conditioned reinforcers. You can use poker chips, star stickers, thumbs ups. It just depends on maybe what's reinforcing for the child. You also want to come up with backup reinforcers. The backup reinforcers that are going to be exchanged for the tokens. Maybe it's sweets, free time, maybe they get time on the iPad, just depending on what works. You want to come up with a reinforcement schedule. And this is a schedule for token delivery. When is the reinforcement going to be used? Is it going to be used for every correct response or every other correct response? You also want to have an exchange criterion. How many tokens are needed to be exchanged for the backup reinforcers? Is it going to be a time and place for the exchange? When are you going to do this? Is it going to be during group work? Is it going to be during specials? Is it going to be during maybe working with teachers? So it just depends on the time and the place. And then you want to have a response cost, which is a penalty or fine where tokens are taken away for engaging in inappropriate behaviors. Okay, so now we want to decide on selecting and defining the target behaviors. Remember, a token economy should be fun and it should be motivating, so it's a good idea to take it easy at first. You want to begin by selecting the behaviors that are relevant and goals that are attainable so that the students can learn how the system works and have fun with it. Requirements can be adjusted as students' behaviors improve. You want to make sure if there's a ton of different behaviors to find the one that might be the easiest and most attainable to do so that the child can see how everything works. And you want to be sure that it's clearly defining the target behavior so it's easy for the student to understand and also for staff to observe. So for example, instead of setting a goal like being respectful in the hall, you should be more specific and say, walk single file without talking. The last thing you want to do is debate with a child about what it means to be respectful. Okay, so now that we decided what the behaviors are that we're going to work towards, we need to create a token board. So there's different programs out there that can create tokens. So you also need to decide what level. If you use Boardmaker Online, that is a great program that works on giving you samples already, and you can just use it and plug in the different reinforcers. So determining the level of the system, about who it's going to be created for, you want to determine the number of tokens required to earn reinforcement. So there's different ways you can do this. You can come up with, if they're able to handle up to 5 tokens, then you can do that. If it's a little more challenging of a behavior, you can start with maybe 2 tokens. So you create the board with the appropriate amount of boxes. Then you also want to create the box for the reinforcer pictures, what the child is going to be working for. You also want to come up with like a pre-assessment on what kinds of things that they like as reinforcers. So for this case, for example, maybe there's a kid that likes to do Play-Doh, or they like to maybe have fruit snacks. So then you can ask them to choose between which 2 they would like at the moment that they're working for. So once you get your boards and stuff, you want to be able to laminate it so it's sturdy and it'll last for a very long time. You're going to add Velcro to the token spaces and then create the tokens. So tokens can also be, you can use pennies, you can use thumbs up. So it depends too on the child. Sometimes it's good to even sit down with the child ahead of time if they are able to, and ask them what kind of symbols that they would like. Some of them like superheroes, some of them like just different types of things that will be reinforcing to them. Then once you figure out that, then you can also create the pictures that they're going to be working for. Everything's going to be laminated and everything's going to be attached with Velcro so that it just snaps right on and in place. So what materials are needed? Like I mentioned on the previous slide, Boardmaker is great for PEX creation. And if they have the new one that's Boardmaker Online, they actually have the boards already preset for you. So all you have to do is pick the one you like and hit print. Come up with a variety of tokens, whether it be stickers, pictures, poker chips. You need a laminator and laminating sheets, paper to do the printing on, printer and colored ink. Color ink is always important because it's more visually appealing to the child or the students. Velcro for attaching the tokens, and then the reinforcers that they're going to be working for.
I'd like to talk a little bit about selecting those backup reinforcers that your students will be able to exchange their tokens for. Something that's been suggested is that you should try and use rewards that are already present in the environment. There's a few reasons. Mainly they're cheaper and easier to deliver, and they're more sustainable over time, because especially in a classroom setting, you want the environment to be reinforcing for them. So over time, you'll be able to fade out the tokens system, and hopefully just being in the classroom is going to be reinforcing for them. So things like extra computer time, or maybe hall passes, a pass to go to the library, or other privileges like being a line leader or paper passer in class. So anything like that, or even access to like preferred games within the classroom. Those are going to be your best reinforcers. If those things aren't suitable for or motivating for your students, you can offer other less natural rewards, trying to keep them easy, small and easy to deliver. Things like candies, snacks, toys, trading cards, things like that, more little prizes sort of things. So Next, we can talk about kind of like what are the types of tokens that you can have. So the token is something physical that the student or learner can actually, hold in their hands. Some token economies use physical objects like a poker chip, stickers, fake money, marbles, or picture cards or stars. Other examples are, even just earning points and having a point chart, or a punch card where you're punching out holes in a card, anything like that that can track the accumulation of the tokens. The tokens, of course, as we said, can be cashed in for other reinforcers. And a ticket system is used by many schools who incorporate PBIS. The ticket system is a school-wide level example of a token economy, where they might have a store where they can exchange their tickets for for a number of different rewards. There are several types of token economy systems. The individual, when it's just a single student choosing what they want to work for, and you're having very specific behavioral goal for them, to a classroom where maybe they need to meet certain behavior goals, like walking in the hallway appropriately, meeting certain scores as a class, and then also school-wide, again, with the a ticket system and a store sort of exchange system where they can, cash those in at a store. The individual token economy, again, students, especially those that are younger or require more intensive support, may benefit from the token economy because activities are broken down into smaller lessons. This can be useful when modifying off-task behaviors, and there are numerous ways to set up these systems, but they generally all work the same. Again, individual token economies are going to be more specifically tuned for a particular student. Here are some examples of individual token boards where students receive a token for exhibiting an expected behavior. The student would then place a token on the chart to show their achievement. Once the student fills all the spots available, they will be able to receive their chosen reward. And then again, the classroom token economy helps us sustain three concepts. We have prevention, teaching, and reinforcement. Prevention is achieved by clearly posting expectations. Therefore, students will be aware of what is acceptable. Teaching involves informing students what the desired and expected behavior is and how it can be achieved. And reinforcement will take place through rewarding good behavior by using the tokens and rewards.
Here is an example of a classroom chart for an entire week. The whole class will start on Monday, and if they meet their behavioral goals, like being quiet in the hallway, the teacher will add a sticker to the chart. If the class gets a sticker for each day of the week, they will be able to pick something out of the treasure box at the end of the week. If the class does not meet the goals on a certain day, the teacher can then ask why they think their behavior was not acceptable. Why implement a school-wide token economy? It increases the likelihood that desired behaviors will be repeated. It focuses staff and student attention on desired behaviors. It fosters a positive school climate, and it reduces the need for engaging in time-consuming disciplinary measures.
How to develop a school-wide token economy store. A school store is a good way to teach students valuable lessons on how to earn things for themselves. Students are more likely to follow rules and increase desired behaviors when success relies on them. How will it work? Students will earn points or dollars to spend at the store. Points or dollars will be awarded when students meet expectations or exceed expectations. The store needs to be open only on a certain day or 2 days. Rewards in the store can be tangible, privileges, and events. Tangible rewards will be items like bouncy balls, stamps, pencil toppers. Privileges will be things like VIP lunch, homework pass, line leader. Events can be pizza party, fun Friday, and class parties. The store procedures. All students will be able to participate in the store. However, it is a privilege. Putting up posters throughout the school to remind students of the rewards is a good way to keep them focused on their tasks. Students will be able to visit the store in groups of 3 to 5 on selected dates.
Why use a token economy system school-wide? Well, it requires basic school-wide administration. It increases the likelihood that desired behaviors will be repeated. Positive reinforcement via the use of tokens can be provided immediately after the target behavior occurs. Token economies can be used to maintain performance over an extended period of time. Generates data required to monitor progress and set future goals. It shows student growth over time, and it also reduces the use of punishment procedures. What students can benefit from a token system? Students who are consistently off task, students who also need that instant feedback, students who need help managing their behavior, and also students who need to reinforce not only positive behavior, but other skills such as academics and life skills.
So in conclusion, the ultimate goal of a token economy system is that individuals will use the skills learned from a token economy in their everyday surroundings. Inappropriate and undesirable behaviors should occur less frequently with the use of a token economy. Individuals will more than likely engage in positive and adaptive behaviors more often. And students who exhibit off-task behaviors would benefit from using a token economy. And lastly, not only is a token economy used to reinforce positive behaviors, but it will work on reinforcing other skills, such as academics and life skills. And that is it.